Good morning, everyone. This is Wayne Bennett with ECRM and Range Me, and I'm excited to have a interesting speaker with us today. Today, I'm joined with Michael Akindele, who is the president and founder of Surplus Pods. Surplus Pods is a very interesting platform. It's a software-driven, on-site commerce infrastructure that turns high-density buildings and other locations into 24/7 data-powered marketplaces with software to help manage pricing, inventory, restocking, and performance. It also includes a surplus OS layer that includes an item recognition engine and 24/7 controlled access. And Michael, I'm really interested in this conversation because of the ability for you to help grow and scale retailer footprint in a very interesting way. And I just wanted to share this with the audience. So, Michael, welcome. Before we get into it, tell me a little bit about your background and what makes you qualified for what you're doing today.
So first of all, Wayne, thank you so much for having me. Really excited to have this conversation with you. By way of background, I started my career in consulting, and most of my career has been in the technology, and more recently in the consumer products industry, really serving as a go-to market expert, and helping companies build technologies that help them scale. Overall, with Surplus, what I bring is that very, 15 plus years across startups and enterprises and really helping them to build and scale both products as well as tech in these verticals. Uh, why surplus so important right now, and why should retailers care?
Yeah.
Overall, if you look at consumption, historically has been driven by build a store and people come. And then we saw a wave of on-demand apps, e-commerce solutions that kind of were introduced into the market. And that then created a demand for, I'm going to have products, place an order for a product and then have it delivered to me. What we're starting to see now is with innovations, really largely driven by some of the biggest players in the market, say, for example, Amazon. Customers have really just grown to the idea of placing an order for an item and getting it very quickly. So the next evolution of that sort of customer experience is instant pickup. And so Surplus is well positioned to really help drive this new buying habit by simply partnering with retailers and helping them deploy our solution that's relatively turnkey right where people live, right where people work, places
Mhm.
they're in transit. And that way it reduces wait times, it reduces unnecessary minimum spend, and overall offers them the ability to be able to pick up an item right where they are.
Hmm. Michael, that's great. And you talked about the ability to deliver product to where people are at. So, can you talk a little bit about the locations that are the sweet spot and what kind of demand signals will tell you if a pod will perform in that location?
That's a really great question. Surplus is designed for high density properties where you have a good amount of residents, guests, or daily users. And these are very like captive. So idea, we really look at where there's already demand and where it already exists. So these could be multifamily residential communities, office buildings, corporate campuses, university and institutional campuses, mixed use developments. Hospitality and extended stay properties, gated and closed communities, and obviously most important is transportation hubs. We want to be the offering on-site, offering instant access to daily essentials 24/7. And overall, our technology is really built to be successful in these environments. And what's really great for these property owners is they don't have to do any heavy lifting. Surplus is a relatively hands-off, no staff required offering that our technology platform operates. And the way I always say is the pod is the interface, Surplus is the operating system that manages the item recognition, pricing, inventory, payment workflows, and each pod also has two display screens that manages a relatively engaging uh, uh, digital billboard that allows for us to be able to provide a very engaging way to kind of introduce products, their offering, promotions, and overall, what we find is that properties have really taken to our offering because one, they're able to integrate it into their building at no additional cost. It doesn't require any long-term build outs. It's relatively quick and easy. All we need is just a space on site and access to power, and we're off to the races.
That's great. And Michael, can you walk us through what a transaction end to end looks like? Accessing the pod, checkout support, and how do you design it for low friction? And also very importantly, how do you reduce shrink?
Really great question. So to access a surplus pod is driven by a membership model. The lowest model we have is at 299. This gives you access to the pod 24/7, and there's no minimum spend.
Two
Uh,
ninety nine two dollars and ninety nine
$299,
cents a month.
$2.99 per month for
Right.
a basic membership fee. This gives you access to our controlled access pods, where every time you access the pod, essentially the pod knows that it's actually you because you're a registered member. Before you actually approach the pod or visit the pod, you can access what and view what inventory is available, what products are available, how much it costs, what quantity is available. And so that way you can even create a shopping list ahead of visiting the pod. There are two ways that you can shop in a pod. You can simply just walk in and pick up the items that you require, pay for those items and walk out, or simply place for an order for delivery to you. And it's not instant delivery. We do batch deliveries at the end of the day. So that way customers are able to get their items in a very predictable fashion. But overall, the basic process of it is you walk up to the pod, you scan to get in, you pick up items, you place them on our item our AI powered checkout panel. Any products that are placed are instantly recognized. And essentially, once you tally up all your products, you pay for it, you check out, and it saves you a trip to the grocery store.
Hmm.
You're not paying a premium for convenience items. And
Hmm.
overall, you can shop 24/7. And this includes dry goods, frozen goods, shelf-stable items. So overall, the categories that we offer are food and beverage, health and beauty,
Hmm.
pets, over-the-counter medication, and just real basic electronics. And so
That's
these are
great.
items that people need to purchase daily.
Yep, it's a convenience on steroids.
Absolutely.
If a retailer partners with surplus, who owns the decision on assortment pricing, promo, planograms, in-pod merchandising, and how does the surplus OS, the operating system, enable centralized control at scale?
That's a really great question. So our model is very simple. We provide the hardware, the software, we deploy, and we also operate the pods. Our platform is able to manage the inventory and also provides performance analytics down to a very SKU level by location. And then we provide ongoing system optimization. As a retailer has control over the brand, the product assortment direction. Um, we can advise, but ultimately they have the final say on what products that go into the pod. And of course, they also own what does success look like because we define what a success looks like out of the gate. And leveraging our platform and the way it's built is you can control pricing, you can manage the overall operations, you can run promotions, and this is all managed and centrally controlled. Um, that allows each retailer to be able to leverage existing resources they have to be able to monitor performance of each pod. So it's relatively a plug and play deployment model. It's modular by design and it's designed for rapid installation. And our proprietary software stack manages inventory, the checkout, and overall merchandising. that allows for the retailer to be able to get visibility on the deployments.
That's great. And most importantly, explain to us a little bit about the economics that matter to the merchants. So, what does the commercial model look like for a retailer in terms of the business relationship, and how do you prove sales are incremental and not just cannibalization?
Yeah, so the retailer doesn't have to take on the capex of purchasing and all the technology. We simply have a per pod fee that's required to be paid monthly. And then we also charge a quarterly fee that gives us access to all the data and analytics.
Okay.
It's relatively straightforward. We also have a model where if the retailer wanted to outright purchase as a franchise, that's also a model that we have. But overall, our platform is designed that gives the retailer the ability to be able to deploy very quickly, not have to hire or bring on additional staffing. They don't have to sign on to any long-term builds or long-term leases. Our model simply is a plug and play model that allows for them to be able to deploy very quickly.
That's great. And lastly, the data is the currency of the day. So, what kind of reporting and insights do retail partners get? And what enterprise integrations are necessary or available so that they can plug and play right into their existing operation?
Yeah, great question. So you get real insights on every data point. That includes the customers, the products, engagement, usability. So they can understand at what times of the day do customers prefer to purchase products. They can understand what flavors customers like to purchase. They can understand what price points really move the needle. Overall, this is a really great way to get real insights and real purchase data. And it's not surveys, it's actually helps to reduce the overall operation risk, and they're able to get faster product validation.
That's
And
awesome.
really, once the metrics prove out, it becomes a scalable path that allows them to be able to deploy more locations. And I always say, every location, we try to understand what are the dynamics of the folks that are reside there, who are the customers, what are they going to be shopping for, what are their needs. So say, for example, we're deployed close to the beach. We're going to have beach items. That's easy. Things like sunblock. And these are items that really we try to make sure that each location, the merchandise and assortment is really tailored to that location.
That's
And this is
great.
part of the type of data that really helps retailers understand how best to, optimize performance.
Right. Michael, last question. What is the next step? What would you like retailers to do with you? How do we engage? What would be the next step forward?
Yeah, so the next step forward really is just to reach out to our team. You can learn more about our offering on our website, surpluspods.com. Overall, we offer a white glove service for retailers, enabling them to be able to launch new locations through our pod model in less than 60 days.
Yeah,
And it's a pretty turnkey solution that allows for them to be able to increase their market presence, test new assortments, learn about buying behaviors in new locations.
yeah.
Overall, every surplus pod is built to become a data engine that helps to inform how customers and retailers scale. And that's why we created the platform.
That's awesome. Michael, thank you for sharing your platform, Surplus Pods. It's a very interesting concept and one that I think is very timely as obviously retailers look to grow and scale and find new ways to reach their shoppers. And I think this conversation is really timely, and I appreciate the work you're doing. And thank you for the opportunity to come and discuss it with me.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. I love all the work that you guys are doing, and thank you for just being a great advocate for innovation in the space.
Thanks, Michael. Have a good day.
All
That's
right, you
Michael
too.
Akindele, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.